ADR markets, Chinese ADR, basically listed shares and primary listing in Hong Kong, and which have a ADR listed in New York Stock Exchange. It's with Chowdia and Wong, who was my kind of de facto, kind of informal PhD student at the UK University. What is the context of this research? First of all, we have to understand that it is 8 shares, which is Hong Kong registered, primary registered shares in Hong Kong, and equivalent securities registered in New York Stock. Now, when you have, these are identical securities. The payoff is still basically the Hong Kong firm's cash flow. Now, if these are listed in these two markets, there is one big problem there, which is if these are, these might not be identically priced in these two different markets. Now, one way to look at that is basically through what is called ADR premium. We already done that. That is another paper in progress. Actually, there's a revised something on that one. This is the second one we are looking at, where supposing there is the ADR premium, we go beyond that and try to find out there is information arbitrage possibilities. So which might come not from the first moment, which is the ADR premium, where you compare the means of the two return series, but let's assume that it might come from volatility. That is basically what the underlying interest in this paper, that if somebody is trying to capture information arbitrage through volatility, is there any way to detect that? So we then need to understand what is volatility. Well, one is basically volatility is an estimate. That is the first thing we have to realize. And if it is estimate, then we have to find out a model that estimates volatility. And whenever we are talking about model estimate, there are several always questions about estimation error. The model itself, whether it is feasible, right, or accurate, has all the right assumptions, all this go on. And in terms of volatility, that seems to be a big issue because there was a very famous paper in Kanina Fedlisky in RFS, I think it was in the mid-90s somewhere, where they tried all the measures of lagged and implied volatility measures, failed to accurately predict volatility. So in that case, endogenous parameters, that means within the volatility process, the endogenous parameters are not giving us any way of understanding what is the next period volatility. So what do? We go out of this model and try to find out if in a dual two-country setting or dual listing basis, if we can think about endogenizing volatility from another market. So if it is two markets, let's see that volatility from lagged volatility measures did not give us a right estimate of volatility. Can the other market's volatility can give us any information about this market's volatility? So that is what you would call volatility spillover. And lots of studies have been done on volatility spillovers across markets. Again, there is not much of consistency there either. Now, what it looks like is that, as you can see, that most of these studies, when they look at volatility spillovers, they are looking at countries, between two countries. Now, there is not much of literature in terms of if it is between two securities, what would be where the volatility function coming from? Which could be the determinants of potential and determinants of volatility. Until the point that market microstructure gave us some ideas about it. So if you remember in portfolio theory, there is no impact of volatility. There is no volatility. So Kyle 1984 is the overall 1987 along the tradition of Glass and Pilgrim of 1985. These are the papers we basically said that actually volume might actually have something to do with moving volatility. It moves price change. If it moves change in prices, it moves prices with volatility. which gain predicts ultimately to volume volatility correlation. That's something about volume might actually drive. So then what are the research questions under that stuff? There are two or three. The first is, do volume volatility move together, or one leads to the other? And in notation you will say that basically if whether there is a correlation between the two, which is Vg is equal to rho of Ht, then there can be causality, either one way, reverse way, or bidirectional. Follow-up question. Now, instead of a point measure of volatility, which were the previous tests that I told you about, let's think of if we can have volatility as a function. So what would be the determinants of volatility in that setup, the function? Then, for the ADR volatility and the H-share volatility, we can think of that volatility is a function of all the other parameters that you can think of, like the endogenous volatility parameters from its own, so lag volatility and whatever you can put it over there, plus some measure of volume. And the measure that we choose over here is that we will take decomposed measure of volume, we'll decompose volume into expected volume and unexpected volume. This basically builds up from basically the literature on market microstructure, and you know I did my dissertation on market microstructure, so you can see like any child does, like where it's like I see everything through the eyes of market microstructure. Anywhere that is there, I find that your market microstructure is a panacea, like it can explain everything and everything. So here is one scope for doing that. Might be justified. And so what we are saying that, remember, volume is a measure of liquidity. And we know liquidity has these two basic components, the inventory component and the information component. And that basically comes out through expected, which is the inventory component, and the unexpected, which is the information. The other innovation in this paper is, a solid innovation I would say, is basically the covariance function. And the covariance function, we are, again, this is one of the novel in this paper, which is not only variance, because this is about two shares, that means we have to model the whole variance covariance matrix, which means which also has the covariance, can actually contribute to the variance covariance matrix. So if that is so, let's also model explicitly covariance. Now that is a difficult job. Both. Expected for the H part. So we basically model the covariance function exactly the same way. We think of it is linear in parameters, not linear in the variables, but linear in parameters, the same way as you would think of a volatility function. So it is linear in the parameters of expected volume and lagged covariance, and then also expected correlation between the H share volumes, H share expected volume, and the ADR expected volume. Similarly, that's the same thing.